You never wanted to be a singer.
No. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. I love how you just say it like that. You never wanted to be a singer. It was all quite accidental at points, but then it always found its way back to me, I suppose, where when I was 10 years old, my mum had put me in this school on a Saturday morning while she was at work where I could go and dance and do ballet. And so I got a scholarship to go to this school and I went there for a year. But what I felt and what I noticed in being there and what just didn't agree with me fundamentally in who I am was that there was just this feeling that you had to conform to this one way of being. And I wanted to kind of like learn all of the practice, but then be able to do my own thing with it. But it felt like that part was never being introduced as a part of that process. I'm a really introspective person and a thinking person. I wake up in the morning and I call it think time because sometimes I wake up and I could just lay there for 2 hours or 3 hours just like letting in all of those thoughts that come at the beginning of the day. You know, there's a moment that's like you're not completely awake, but you're not asleep anymore. And you can have quite profound realizations in that moment. And sometimes I just like to stay in that space and like let that go on and on and on. Sometimes I'm late to things because I've kind of got stuck there a little bit. And I've kind of had to learn some mechanisms of how to like not let that sink me too far into a day of not doing anything, because sometimes they're really productive thoughts and really beautiful conjurings, and sometimes they're really exact and precise thoughts of people will just come to me and think, I need to speak to this person today, or I need to ask this today. But sometimes it can be more of a dwelling space, and then that's dangerous for me.
Why is it dangerous?
Because then that's where it's kind of laced with the more anxious thoughts and negative thoughts and dwelling on interactions that I've had that haven't felt positive, and that's not like the best start for me to then go into the day and be a physical person in my day kind of thing. And I suppose like within a musical career in the public eye to some degree, sometimes the measure of success within that is captivating the most amount of people that you can, and
the trap,
being global. Yeah,
the trap.
Do you call that the trap?
I call it the trap.
Yeah, I really don't. Why do you call it that?
The trap is addressing commerciality as the primary reason to do something, rather than artistry as the only reason to do something.
Yeah.
The responsibility of an artist is to be in the channel and allow the channel to take them where it wants to take them.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're vulnerable.
Yeah, and how do you measure your own sense of whether you're successful or not? The trap is chasing this idea that you still want to be like this world famous kind of fanciful creature like thing that everybody knows about and everybody sees. And then I've just thought about like what it is to then go beyond that.
Like in the animal kingdom, and I hope it's not an insult.
Yeah.
You'd be like a giraffe.
Yes, I love giraffes.
Just because you'd see everything before anyone else.
Okay.
And you'd be so majestic no one would harm you because they wouldn't dare, because they wouldn't know what you were capable of.
No, that's exactly how I am. It's funny, I think there's this little quiz you can do. My friend did it with me once on a car journey, which is something like, say your favourite animal, and that's how you really view yourself, and then you say the other one and it's the partner you would like or something. And I think mine was a giraffe and a cat.
So if trust is truth, if we don't offer truth, we can't be trusted.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
But what does that make us? Vulnerable.
Yes, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like, even in this conversation, it's like, I trust you, but it's like beyond you, and where it goes out there in the world is like where I'm protective over like certain subjects or certain ways of addressing certain topics. And that is why, because it makes you vulnerable.
A part of what we're doing here is planting seeds in you and me. I'm not here to listen to what you tell me.
Yeah.
I'm here to learn about myself through what you show me. Let's talk about owning yourself.
Yes.
Where's that courage come from?
A need, like an urgent need to do so. The main thing that happened for me is I think I'd always have this feeling of loneliness. And I think perhaps I'd always experienced that from quite a young age, but not quite known how to describe that and understand that. I mean, I feel like sometimes people can feel quite ashamed of being lonely or saying that they're lonely because it can make it seem quite weird. And like there's this word loner, which then also suggests that you're quite weird in your own time. And actually, I think some of what you were describing earlier of how you've seen me is a reason of why I've experienced that in my life.
When we were doing the Love is a Losing Game video,
Yes, oh, it's brilliant.
I said to Amy, let's cut the Beehive off.
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
And she was like, can we do that?
Yes.
No one else wanted to do that.
Yeah, because...
And I said, you're trapped in that hair. You cut your hair off.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Well, it's funny because I'd had this afro hair and I'd always had these different hair journeys of struggling with my hair, damaging it and all of these things. And then I'd finally gone from having straight weaves to one day, I remember, it was when I'd first moved to London, I had no money and the weave with the straight hair just started to look awful. So I took it all off and I did my hair really nicely. And again, I suppose external validation, everyone's reaction was like, oh my God, you look amazing. Blah, blah, blah. And so I just started to wear my hair and I really liked it. And also I felt like people felt more comfortable that they could sort of tell what my ethnicity was once I had my natural afro hair. Whereas when I had straight hair, people wondered if I was Persian, people wondered if I was Indian, and people always wanted to know, like, what are you? And as soon as I had my natural hair, things started to move forward in my career, like the momentum started to gather with that as well. And I did feel like there was a correlation there between my hair and how people were able to identify me, and also my hair and just feeling like, oh, I'm free and I'm actually being myself. And that felt right.
Because what you've just talked about is becoming your truth.
Yeah. But it was becoming the caricature, if you like, that people were really being able to study and identify, like, this is what Celeste looks like, kind of thing. But I felt as well, I can't be trapped by that because I can't live with this for much more than, I can't be this pretend thing for 5 years just to have a career.
I think being a mirror for each other is the most powerful thing we can do, because if you see yourself in every man and every man in yourself, you will never be unhappy. And what that really means is if you're willing to look at someone and go, I can see that little corner of loneliness, and I share it with you.
Yes.
And therefore, we don't have to be lonely. And as you approach this next phase then, what's your mantra for that?
What's my mantra? Do whatever I like.
That's a good mantra.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been it since the beginning. But I think it's just about, the main thing for me is really about following my sense of intuition, and in terms of my gut instinct, if you like, being the compass that tells where all of that should be, kind of thing.
That's beautiful. Thank you for being a giraffe for me today.
Thank you for being so wonderful. It's so nice to speak to you.
Yeah, really, really beautiful conversation. And as we have learned from all these delicate conversations with Loreen, Darkus, Craig David, and all our guests, trust in our true self is where real freedom can be found. I'm Phil Griffin, and thank you for joining us on Press Record.